Hey everyone, this is Jan and you're watching my daily indie game dev update for Saturday, the 25th of July. Now, right here you can watch me make the cave from last Tuesday, and we then had this thought about a fog of war that can hide what is actually happening in this cave until you get closer. But I had this thought late night on this Wednesday that what if the fog of war is actually a little blueprint or a little enemy, if you will, in Unreal Engine, that just like an enemy character notices when the player bumps into it, but instead of getting hurt or hurting the player, it simply turns itself invisible. And then once the player is gone, it turns itself back to visible or engulfing the area in shadow. So that is what I set out to make today, besides some new enemies. So stick around. Hit like, hit subscribe if you want to see a video game being made from start to finish right here on the YouTubes, and let's get started. Looking at the priorities list I made the other day, we have our work cut out. We've got a slime enemy that we have to build, and so I need to find the asset pack. I've built up quite the library on itch.io, and we need to find this guy right here, take him into Aseprite, have a look at some other stuff, and then we need to cut him up so that we can make the individual into little frames that Aseprite works in. And then I have my little file ready to go so that I can make edits afterwards in Aseprite rather than just drop in a spreadsheet in Unreal Engine, cut it up there, and build up the animation into a flipbook straight away. So what I'm actually doing here is I decided, rather than just using the asset pack as is and just have that slime made by someone else, I decided to do what is known as an asset, which is where you take something someone else made, but you put your own spin on it, so that if someone else decides to use the same asset pack, yours doesn't look like, hey, this is the thing I saw in a different game. Like, it still feels like it belongs to your game only. So what I decided to make my version of this slime different is it only came with a jumping slime animation. I tweaked the jump a little bit, but I decided to add an eyeball, as you can see. And the other thing I decided to do is I took one of the frames of this jump up and down animation, and I turned that single frame, I expanded on it, and I turned it into its idle animation, which I'm actually quite happy with. And this is how it turned out. I spent a good amount of time just tweaking the collision of this new slime enemy. It's a very simple enemy, it doesn't move around yet, I haven't quite figured that out yet. But I think this is pretty cool, just having, I mean, it's kind of the hello world of games, isn't it? Having a slime monster. And things progressed pretty quickly from there on. I started adding different sized slimes in this cave, and I also finally began working on that shadow idea. Now, I like the shadow that is in the game already, that I just dropped on top. It is simply an alpha of a shape, a black shape. But this right here is a rasterized shadow. It's something I've always wanted to play with, but I have to say though it is working, like you can walk by and it'll turn itself on and off. It needs some tweaking in the animation, like maybe a timeline to make it fade in or out. It's just that I'm quite fond of this shadow that he's walking in right now. And so all of a sudden I find myself in two minds, unless I simply use this kind of alpha shadow and just forget about the rasterized pixel art, if you will. I mean, it looks good. I don't know, maybe it should all be rasterized, I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to sleep on this one for a little bit, but in the meantime, pretty productive day. We set out to make a new enemy, a very simple enemy. It is in the game in different sizes. We set out to make a shadow that will retreat from the player. That is also very rudimentary, but it is working. And this new cave, it's growing on me. I like it. That's it. It's time to call it quits, and I will see you in the next one. Hope you're all well. Let me know what you're up to in your projects down below in the comments. If you have any add-ons or comments, let me know, man. I'll respond. Till next time.